Hello, my name is Kevin. Of course, the other team got Army Kenya. Ah, I want to resolve a situation here. These are two people or even two countries fighting together for something. Who won? The best and fair game is that game that people comes together and they agree and fairly it is a resolution brings people all together and they settle their issues, right? For example, if you have a disagreement with your guy, a guy is just a fellow, your friend, and all that, these colleagues, people you're working with, okay? And you think maybe when you beat them, you injure them, you win. I don't think that is a good win because they will go, or he or she will go and plan on how to come and revenge. And maybe many a times revenge is not good on the other side because you are never prepared mentally and physically and all that this is just gonna happen, okay? So what definitely happens and brings a win is when people comes and agree. Okay, when two people are fighting and they are wise enough to know that this fight would have brought or will bring something that is called a disaster, either by the two or one person. So they always sit down and say, okay, we have a difference. So how can we solve it so that our differences could bring us a working solution for both of us so that we never find ourselves in such kind of messes again? And that's why you see, aka Raho was always having the handshake and all that and could calm the situation, right? So every time someone who wins the game is the one who comes with the different story. Someone who wins the game is not always someone who hardened it to continue on. To continue on, like you continue on fighting until you kill someone is when you win the game. No, that is a very hard situation of winning the game that always leaves grudges behind because whoever you have killed has got some of his supporters or even his families, and those people will never forgive you whether you talked after the incident or not. So what definitely happened, the smart war is a war whereby people fight, they go through the painful transition, things changing to bad, better, and all that, and they still come and shake hands, talk, and bring peace. Okay? And that is the best war ever that also many a times God allows Satan to work through us. He comes and he does a lot of so many bad things. We are being torn into flesh pieces. Our pieces are being thrown into fire and all that so-called purification and being passed through pain and all that. And then God comes as a restorer. He comes to restore us. And when that is now happening, now you become to be that kind of a person with great knowledge because you come from a school. So that is always what happens. So I'm trying to teach you that people should not just fight so hard that they only think that when they fight the other person until they kill him or her is when they win the game. No, that is the beginning of enmity from one clan to another community. You understand that? So the perfect fight, because we as human beings, as long as we are still living on earth, issues will still pile up. We just need to have asked God to have given us knowledge and wisdom so to know when to talk and when to continue on fighting. So when you master that and you reach a point of knowing when to talk and you are still fighting, that means you have exceeded the war and it will always bring the disaster. And when the war brings the disaster, it becomes very difficult to resolve it or to save a situation, okay? And that lives by the communities to have hold grudges for so many decades, okay? And that is what is happening. But why do you see some smart people fighting, and at the end they still shake hands and they become friends and everything is just changed? Because when a difference comes, does not necessarily mean that the enmity is there forever. It is just a matter of misunderstanding. If these people come and realizes and they come together and they sit together and they resolve their issues, so life go back to normal, respect and people respect one another. In fact, it is the best way to make everything happen. So my point is, people will still fight, but which war are you fighting? Are you fighting a war to kill someone, or you are fighting someone so that you could find them also listening to you so that you could solve your issues altogether and to live better in future? Because wars will always still be there. The bad ones are the ones that ending to have taken someone's life. But the best wars ever that I've worked for so many leaders, I've worked for wise men and women, are the wars that you have not agreed, but you still have a room to agree and make things happen better. That's why people talk. So ask yourself, which kind of a battle are you fighting? Are you fighting to kill Kevin? Or you are fighting Kevin to have had you so that you could sit down with Kevin and resolve your issues and make the best? So ask yourself. And if you are fighting to kill Kevin, if Kevin is fighting to kill you, then he's a witch. That's a very bad person, very bad person. We should never be having such kind of mindset that we are fighting to have eradicated someone's life. Let us fight so that that fight would bring us more together to have made our coming fourth generation a better one. Okay, let us use our misunderstandings to have brought agreement among us so that the future would be made better for the coming generation, who doesn't know many but must have learned from whatever they have seen us exercising. Okay, so whether you are of God or not of God, wars will still be there. In fact, to them that are calling themselves of the Lord, the nature has allowed so many misunderstandings their way, and the world fights them like nothing else. So without this virtue, so-called wisdom and knowledge from the kingdom of God to have guide your movement, your talks, when to know how to change the topic, man, if you don't have such kind of gifts and you get yourself into a war, then you are playing in a very dangerous zone, a zone that may end up claiming your life, and that's very bad. Okay, so let us be people who knows that even in the middle of war, we are still gaining something. And for that to have happened, you must be someone with a positive mindset in all situations you go through, whether are negatives, whether are positives. All situations you go through, you must focus with a positive mindset. Out of it, you never loses. You only gain knowledge and wisdom. Of all, this is just the process of building a great person with a capacity to help great people or to help the nation as a whole. Okay, let us stay away from sin and approach our challenges in a positive way. Is a virtue to have brought success at the end of everything you and I do. Okay, so take care, mom, take care, baba, and take care, my sister, my brother, and we truly love you, man. Okay, take care.